Yay, new race bike! Super excited. This is gonna be the replacement for the red and white Super Sport, because I don't actually run Super Sport, so what's the point of having a Super Sport? But let's go through it. And this is kind of a special one. It was definitely a very solid build. Mike Skornick from Triple Strong Racing probably did most of it. Anything that wasn't done before him. And this was Trevor Cece's bike, which is friend, teammate, you know, MA Twins guy sometimes. Right from the top, you can kind of see there has been some money spent. Obviously, Motion Pro Revolver, or Rev 2, Brembo RCS 19, Pitbull. Now, the CRG $300 something clutch lever is an absurd piece of equipment. Basically, if you find that your clutch is getting loose mid-ride, you can hit it to tighten it. It is an awesome piece of gear. Let me loosen it back up, or loosen it back up. It is an awesome piece of gear, and it is definitely one of those I will spend any money to get me something that I like. Vortex gas cap, nothing unusual there. But there is something really unusual here. So that is a Hall effect sensor that senses when the lever comes by. And what that activates is a mechanical autoblipper, which is ridiculously awesome. I'm gonna take it apart in a little bit and try to show you guys how it works. But nothing left stock. So full M4, Öhlins rear, light and rear rotor, Vortex rear sets, first gen side cover with a Woodcraft clutch cover. Inside that there is a slipper clutch also, and bunch of stuff in the motor. I don't have the exact build, but it is supposed to be 80-ish horsepower. It's supposed to be light and flywheel, cams, probably rods, all sorts of stuff, half over, I think. The guy that built it said. But let's get this bike undressed and see what we can see. So there's just miles of extra stuff going on inside here, but to summarize, power commander, quick shift for the power commander, the auto blipper is in there somewhere. There seems to be something else. I'm not sure what that little box is, but it looks like it's also a Dynajet kind of thing because it uses the same kind of loom. Board throttle bodies with the secondary valves deleted. A really small battery relocated off to the side, suspect to make space for all this stuff in the tail. And the overflow reservoir relocated once again to free up some space on this side for these guys. There is also a map switch, so two different maps can change on the fly based on what fuel is in there. And lastly, like the most interesting thing to me is the auto blip. So the auto blipper works, obviously I mentioned it works off this sensor, when this arm passes it, it tells it to activate. And then there is what it deletes is it deletes the idle adjustment cable. And it basically, when it wants to, it turns the throttle body. So let's see if we can make that happen. So I'm gonna hit the shifter so that it wants to blip. And that will give it a little bit of a rev that it needs for the quick downshift, so you don't have to do it with your hand. For those not in the know, what the auto blip does is, normally if you want to rev match a downshift as you're braking, you're giving little revs as you're clutching and downshifting. Here, just brake, the bike will do the revving for you. Pretty awesome piece of kit. Kind of simultaneously really impressed by how it's done, like the ingenuity involved and everything else. And I'm sure it's not a cheap part. I'm simultaneously impressed by like the desire to not cut any corners and give yourself any edge you can on track. So I really dig that. That's a really awesome attitude if you can afford it. But yeah, otherwise I'm kind of looking forward to taking this thing out. That's gonna have to be next season, or maybe I'll get lucky and go to Jennings over the summer or over the winter. But kind of psyched. And I think I'm definitely gonna be selling the red and white Super Sport, because there's really no reason for me to own 3 race bikes. So might have something on that in a bit.